In this episode, guys, I'm going to talk you through how to get from an athletic 12 to 15% physique to a more ripped or even shredded 8 or 9% body fat physique. And it does require jumping through some hoops. I hope by now you saw part 1, which is the 5 fundamental steps. This is a bit more for intermediate or advanced trainers, or anyone who's just curious about how to get super lean. Let's go through 5 tips that I found very useful to change the body fat percentage to the lower single digits. First one is to adjust the calories carefully. Part 1, I talked about creating a calorie deficit, which is fundamental to burning body fat. One mistake a lot of people make is they go too fast, too hard. Not like the time you lost your virginity. This is about going slow and steady. First thing you need to do, of course, is create a calorie deficit that's probably 300 to 500 calories a day in deficit, which means you can still perform, particularly in the gym and in other areas of life, but you are in a calorie deficit. Over time, that calorie deficit won't work as well, simply because your body will adapt to it. There is something called metabolic adaptation, by the way, but also your body will be lighter, therefore you'll be burning off less calories, right? Key is to adjust it as you go through the process. To do that, you need to be tracking things, which I'm going to talk about later in this episode. Just to reflect on how I went between stage 1, getting ready for the first shoot, stage 2, getting for the second shoot, you can see that my body weight loss was certainly not linear. There were times where it plateaued and I had to adjust some of the variables, which I'll talk about later. Remember, guys, tortoise won the hare. That's super important when it comes down to getting ready for single digit body fat. Second tip, guys, is you've got to collect data. You wouldn't run your business without knowing incomings and outgoings, right? Why do you think your body is going to transform in the way you want it to without any data? You don't have to overcomplicate this, but what I would say at a bare minimum is you want to be taking progress photos every week. Bearing in mind that from week to week, you won't see much change, but over 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 9 weeks, and so on, you'll definitely know if you're going in the right direction. Similarly, I also think you should take body measurements using a tailor's tape. This is a great way to know that you're burning off fat in the right places while retaining muscle in the key areas that's going to make you look good later. As for tracking your actual body weight, some guys would say do it at least once a week. Personally, if it's not going to cause a head fuck for you, I would say do it every single day and just look at the average across the week. The reason we do this is because it can fluctuate from day to day. Say you had a particularly salty meal or is a bit stressful at work. The reason I say take it daily is because if you're only tracking it once a week, there could be an error in the data, and this is not good. We want to be catching the trend as we go through the week so we can adjust accordingly. Tip 3, and now we're getting into the advanced stuff, something called carb cycling. Now, for a lot of people, even following a basic diet and sticking to a calorie cap for the day is hard enough. If you're going to enter into this, know that it does take planning. It is a pain in the arse. Carb cycling, simply put, means on certain days you have lower or zero carbs, allowing you to have higher carbs on the other days. Now, we don't do this because it's some sort of magic pill that's going to make you look jacked. No, it's mostly for a psychological edge. For example, if I can diet hard for 3 days, knowing that on the 4th day I can have a refeed, it means that I generally can stick to the aggressive calorie deficit, particularly as we get closer and closer to the target weight where it starts to really play with your mind. Tip number 4, and I'm being absolutely honest with you here, is I didn't restrict all foods that I liked. Granted, there was meals of chicken, rice and broccoli. Luckily for me, I quite enjoyed that. But each day, I made sure I had a little bit of chocolate. May only been 1 or 2 cubes, particularly as I got closer to the actual shoot. But nevertheless, I had a little bit of chocolate, and I would encourage you to have a little bit of joy in your diet as well. Otherwise, you just won't stick to it. Tip 5, and this is honestly not a sales pitch, but I'm just being real with you. Both times I've done a photo shoot, I've used a physique coach. Why is that? Because I'm a coach myself. Doesn't make sense. Actually, it does. Why take on all of this extra work when you can give it to someone else to hold you accountable? A key problem that when you're going into an aggressive diet phase is your mind starts to play tricks on you. You think things like, oh, my body fat's not coming off quicker, I should probably increase my steps, or I need to be more aggressive with my diet. But having someone who's experienced and done this before with other people, is great because they just tell you what you need to do and you just follow the plan. I've actually used coaches for strength and conditioning, I've used it for physique development, and I've used it for my business. And I will always use coaches. I actually think coaches who don't pay for coaches don't really believe in coaching. So there you have it. If you're already an athletic physique guy and you want to look lean and jacked, you're going to have to jump through these hoops to get there. I'm not suggesting you walk around at 8 or 9% body fat all year. I mean, what sort of life is that? Can do it if you want to do it. If you enjoyed this episode, go and check out this next video, which YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy. Make sure you subscribe. We're pumping out some great content on this channel, and I want you to come along on the journey with us. Until next time, stay active, and I'll see you there.